I want to try recreating this gradient animation in Stripe using this design software that was not created for animations. I think we can do it. Okay, we gotta load it. You ready? Let's click play. Let's see how it looks. Damn, that looks good. So how are we gonna pull this off? Well, I'm on Stripe's website right now, and let's just check out how this thing was made. Inspect, let's just get rid of all this nonsense. So if you don't know who I am yet, I am Muda, and I create tutorials on how to design. Sometimes it's something useful, sometimes it's just something fun like this animation. So we're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna do it within the next hour because I don't want to spend too much time on it. So yeah, let's get back into the code. Now just to be clear, I'm not a developer at all. I just like to find clues in the code from time to time. But it looks like this thing was developed at an angle. If you don't know about Stripe, one of their main brand differentiators is this tilt, or I guess is this angle. So what happens when we turn that off? Okay, so basically they started with a regular horizontal gradient and then they skewed that into an angle. So we're gonna copy that method. Now we're going into Figma. So basically with any animation in Figma, you gotta do everything with Smart Animate. Now Smart Animate is limited, like you can't do a bunch of different things, but we're gonna see if we can manipulate it so that it allows us to make this nice gradient animation. Okay, so I already screenshotted the gradient so that we have something to work off of as a reference. I actually know how to create this, so we're gonna go ahead and create these gradients first. Or at least something similar. You know, you can't get perfect, so let's just start by making gradients. So to get this type of gradient effect, we have to start off with our canvas. Now because, you know, this is a desktop website, I'm gonna go with the width of 1440. And then I guess we can keep the height not that tall, maybe 720. Yeah, okay, that works for us. Maybe even smaller actually. Let's go with 600. Okay. Now, to make this gradient, we have to set a gradient background first. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pick one of the colors that I have in one of my design libraries, and I'm gonna edit this so that it turns into a gradient. So I think what we can try and do is do a shift from yellow to purple. And you want to remove this opacity. So by default, Figma will give you an opacity. I'm just going to take it off. Okay. And then the next thing we do is we got to make these oblong shapes, because I feel like this gradient is just a bunch of oblongs together. Now just to be clear, I do know how to do this, if you can read these side panels on that side, but I'm gonna pretend like we're figuring this out together, okay? Okay. Okay, so let's add this layer blur. 20, no, too small. Let's go with 120. Okay, this is a good amount of blur. Let's put that in. Let's just choose a color. Right now the colors don't really matter that much, but we just gotta make sure we have them. We're just setting up our colors right now, or our blurs. Now to make this process a little bit faster, I've created these effects. Now let's just create a new one. If I add this test 1 into this effect, I've set a background blur. So to make sure a background blur works, you gotta make sure your color isn't at 100%, so we're gonna change this to 80. And we already have that layer blur, so I'm gonna leave that as it is. And if you wanna create this effect and make sure it stays, we'll just create that. So here, go into your effect styles, click this plus, and then we'll name it, what do we call it? Gradient blur. Yeah, that's it. So now every time we select an object, okay, let's just create another object and remove all these effects. Okay, so we have this yellow object. Let's put it at the top somewhere. And I want to add the blurs to it. We just go ahead into our effects and add that blur. Okay, so now we have all our shapes. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we'll go with 7 shapes. I'll make this one. Let's make this one purple. And then let's add another one. Let's make this one. We can go with orange. Okay. So we have our shapes. What we have to do now is, since we're gonna smart animate this, we gotta make sure all the names are organized. Okay. I want this to be on top, so I'm gonna call this top 1. I want this one to be a top layer, so I'm gonna call this top 2. And let's make this purple one a top layer as well. So top 3. I don't really care about the others, we're just gonna go with these. Okay, so those are our top layers. Because we're doing smart animate, I mean, to get the effect to really show up, we need to smart animate it within like a certain number of frames. I'm just gonna do 5 frames right now because I wanna zip it. No, that's not the word. I just wanna show off that we can do it. So we're gonna go with 5 frames just to show off the effect. A step that I forgot a step. We're gonna go back, I'm gonna delete these. Okay, so now we already have our shapes. I'm gonna group them all together because we need this for the blur. And I'm gonna call this gradient blobs. Blobbles, okay, sure, whatever. To create this, I guess to create the effect where it breaks in and out of each other, what we can do is use the blurring techniques and select hue. Now what you can see here is that we're getting these, I guess, sharp edges or sharp color edges. Now, once we're already in the step, let's just change things around a bit so that it suits the look that we're trying to get. So I don't like the way that this looks. Okay. So the point of setting everything to hue is that we get these kind of sharp color edges where it's a clash of 2 different colors. If you use other blending methods, you're not going to get this type of effect. For example, let's go with, I guess, color dodge, we can try. Everything just kind of blurs together as though you were painting. You don't really get this nice, these nice sharp edges unless you're doing hue. Now, the color here isn't that nice. What I like to do is add an overlay of just like a simple block overlay of just whatever color you want. You can make a gradient if you want, but I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this orange. And we're gonna set the blending method to overlay. Now I'm gonna call this overlay so we don't mess it up. And then I'm gonna lock that so that we don't accidentally move it around. Okay, so now we can see that the colors look a lot better. There's no blue as we've seen in the example. So let's try and add a bit of blue. I also don't like the way this is shaped, so let's start moving things around so that we get the right color effect that we want. So we'll make things taller, smaller. This purple is quite nice. Let's just try and make it stand out a bit more. This red kind of disappears, so let's see what we can do with that. Should we use a different color? Should we try and turn it into blue? Okay, so we have this blue now. let's angle this. I mean, these are all the colors meshed together. You know, at the end of the day, we're not going to have all these colors meshed together, so let's just start moving things out of the way. I want my starting frame to have this blue here, so let's keep that. I also want this greenery, but I think I want to make it a bit smaller to begin with. We'll move this red out of the way, so let's just set this X to maybe 2000 to get it out of, whoops, or 1500 just to get out of the way. And then this purple, I think we can keep this as a constant color block here, so let's just keep that here. This orange is quite nice, but it's a bit distracting. I'll just move that here for now. Okay, so we have 4 blobs visible on screen. I'm just gonna recreate this. And now we have our second frame. Now to get this right, I'm just gonna, or like just to showcase this effect, I'm gonna do 5 frames in Smart Animate. So we gotta make 5 frames in Figma. So let's just do that. So I don't want this to move that much. We're gonna make our purple move a little bit. This orange blob, I think should be something that moves a lot. And this blue, I want it to compete, so we're gonna move it to the right. This green I want to show up a bit more. Okay, now let's go into our layers for frame 2 and move this yellow across. Oh, the yellow doesn't show up at all. Okay, so I'll be a main mover for our second frame. And then where was that one that we shot away? Okay, let's just let that peek in a bit. Okay, now let's make our third frame. In the third frame, I want this yellow to disappear basically. And this purple should take more of a leading role in the event. And we'll just get this orange to move across. Oh, I guess it was yellow this whole time. Now I don't like that this isn't transparent, so let's just go in and make this transparent. If your computer lags, don't worry, mine's also lagging. It takes a bit of effort for the computer to run these gradients, but yeah, I just set it to 70%. Okay, so now we want to make this red a bit more prominent and send this blue across, or this aqua across. Let's make it disappear. Let's make it even smaller. And this should get bigger. Let's just make this bigger. Okay, let's make that fourth frame. I want to get rid of whatever, this purple. We'll just send it all the way out. This orange should be gone. I mean, this yellow should be gone too. Let's just get it out of there. Okay, it's gone. We're gonna make this turquoise blend in with that, and we're gonna bring this red across. Actually, while we're at it, let's reduce the opacity of this. So we're gonna go into the high level opacity and just get rid of this a bit. Actually, no, it's too much. 80. Okay, 80. And then our fifth frame, everything's pretty much gone except for that blob, which is not what I intended. But we'll see how it looks. red. Here's the red. Should make it get bigger. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now we've set up these frames. I want to see how it looks. So we go into prototyping. Now to get these prototypes done, I want to go across and just drag it off to the second frame. We want the first one to react based on a click interaction, and then the animation has to be smart animate. It's the only way to get this done. Because we want to make this continuous, I'm going to change this animation set to linear. And okay, that's all we need. Now the second one, I want to drag across and go into frame 3. Now because we want it to be continuous, I'm going to set this to after delay. So we're going to set a delay of 1 millisecond, smart animate, linear again, 300. Actually, let's make this a bit bigger. I'm going to set it to 2,400. So that's, I don't know. It's 2 seconds and a bit, or 2,500, 2.5 seconds. We'll set this to 2.5 seconds. And we got to go back and set the first one to 2.5 seconds as well. Okay. Frame 2 is set up, or frame 2 to frame 3 is set up. Now it's frame 3 to frame 4. After delay, 1 millisecond so that there's no delay. And 2,500, yep, okay. So next one's gonna be easy. Again, we do the same thing. Frame 4 to frame 5. Set it to after delay, 1 millisecond, and let's see how it turns out. Okay, so we have the setup. Now we just gotta click play. Now when you click play, the prototype frame should open up. This may take a while. I'll just wait for it. Okay, we got it loaded. You ready to click play? Let's see how it looks. All right, so we made it activate on click. I'm just gonna click and we're gonna watch this thing happen. Let's go. Oh yeah. Look at this gradient animation. Woo! Okay, so you might notice that it is slow. Well, you know, that's what we want, right? It's supposed to be background animation. We don't want crazy movement. Let's just keep admiring it. Now, what you might notice on your computers and what I've noticed on mine is that it is a bit jumpy at times. That's probably normal. I mean, that's to be expected. You know, we're blending a lot of colors together and the software or Figma isn't cut out to handle this. But, you know, if you're just trying to get your point across, it does the job. Okay. So we have our gradients. Let's just watch this one more time. Okay. So we have our gradients. All right, do you see that jump cut? That short little jump cut? Now that happens when, you know, it goes from frame 1 to frame 2. For some reason, the layer blurs don't mix properly, and you just get this little jump. It's fine. There's no way around that. You just gotta live with it. And if you can't live with it, then I don't know. Go learn how to code this. But for now, this is doing the job. Okay, we're gonna press R to go back to the start. Let's just look at this one more time. Woo! Okay, so we have the gradient blur effect. Now what we gotta do is set that stripe angle. Now to do this, we're gonna need to use a plugin called SkewDat. So let's just, yeah, let's go download that plugin. Now I already have it, but because I'm guessing you guys don't, here's how you find it. So go into community. This is me, Izzy, Muda. Just search Izzy and you'll find me. You know, follow me if you want to download the resources. But basically, just go into community, tap it twice if it's set to your profile, and search SkewDat in the plugins. So we're taking this, it says it's stupid and simple. It is very simple to use, and it's not stupid because it helps us with our tutorial. So install this and we'll continue with our tutorial. So I'm going back into the file. Now we have our frames, perfect. I'm gonna select all of them, copy them. Okay, so I'm gonna select all of them, and then I'm going to use the plugin. And we're gonna set the angle to, we'll do -12. I don't actually know what the stripe angle is, but I'm gonna say it's 12 degrees. Okay, so we have our frames. Now we wanna put it into a website, or like a website design. So I'm gonna create a frame with the dimensions of a MacBook Pro. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, actually let's change this to MacBook Pro. I'm gonna drag this gradient layer into our file, or into our frame, and set the X and Y to 0. Okay, so now we see that there's a bit of extra, I guess, of extra space on our board. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna extend this to 1,450. Did it cover it? No. 1,480 to be safe. There we go. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in and change all these overlay widths. So, you know, just bear with me for a second. So I don't exactly know how SkewDat works, but basically, okay. So, but basically, I think it takes the code of the shape and then sets it at a tilt. So you're not actually adjusting the shape, you're adjusting the container that holds the shape, if that makes any sense. So making it longer will still make it longer based on the original shape and not based on the skew. Anyway, that's just how it works. I guess just accept it. Okay, so we have that. Now to make things go a bit faster, I'm going to just recreate 5 of these boards. And then we're gonna drag the gradients in one by one. Okay. And don't forget to extend all your boards to 1,480. Okay, so now we have the skews in our Mac frames. And okay, we're gonna have to prototype this again, but because you already prototyped the first set to see how the gradient looked, you know, this one should be easy for you. So yeah. On click. Okay, this one's gonna be after delay. Let's do the next one. After delay as well. You know what? I forgot to set the last one to 1 millisecond to avoid a delay. So I'm gonna go back and change that. Okay, moment of truth. Let's drag this down so that our prototype plays from this frame. And then let's close our original gradient. And now we click play again. And watch it run with the skew. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. You know what I realized we forgot? We gotta go back. When we were designing this, all the frames had different names. For Smart Animate to work, you gotta name everything that's supposed to animate to each other the same. So I'm gonna go in, select all of these. So I'm holding Shift while I click on all of these, and I'm gonna press Command R and just change everything to gradient animation. Okay, now the layers should be consistent in name, and we should be able to get the effect working. Damn, that looks good. Damn, that looks good. So there we have it. We did it. This is basically all that I said I would do. Create the great animation. Now you guys know how to do it. If you want access to this file, you can go to my Figma profile, I guess, or go down in the description. You can find it. It's not done yet. Let's just add a bit of, a bit of a website feel. I'll be back. Okay, so here we have it, my website with the gradient effect. Let's see how it plays. You ready? As you can see, I've put this glass border around myself. Something that you'll notice with the glass is that it'll take the original color and you won't see the animation happening behind it. You'll just see this kind of frosted color look. That's inevitable, that's just how it is. But look at that gradient. Oh my goodness. I'm proud of myself. Were you following along? Were you trying? I'm proud of you too. Okay, but that's basically it. We created our gradient. And it looks pretty damn good. Like I say down here, it's not perfect, but it works. So, thanks for joining. This channel is about, learning how to design, having fun with design. We get to build all these great experiences for people. I think, being a designer or product designer, UX designer, whatever you want to call yourself, is you get a chance to build the future. So if you want to build the future with me, join along. I'm going to keep teaching you how to do these cool Figma things, or we'll actually get into some real world case studies and actual user experiences. But for now, that's it. Have a try if you haven't tried yet. Follow me on Instagram at Muda Experience. Follow me on Figma at Izzy. And follow me on YouTube, or I guess just subscribe, like, share this with people. And I'll catch you guys in 2 days, hopefully. I'm gonna be a bit more consistent. 2021, I got time to spend. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Time to go eat dinner.